All right, everyone, welcome back to the Brad and Kyle YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can hook the ball more, less, control your hook with axis rotation. Now, before we get started, we just want to let you guys know that we do have a private coaching membership. We help bowlers like yourself, and we have a lot of tools like this that we're about to explain to help bowlers reach their full potential. So if that's something you're interested in, please click the link in the description below. And without further ado, let's talk about some axis rotation.
All right.
So today we're talking about axis rotation when it comes to throwing a bowling ball. Now, Brad, when we're bowling, we want to be the most versatile we can. We talk about that in a lot of our videos, and the reason being is that we want to have all these tools to be able to manipulate the ball and basically combat whatever is happening on the lanes. Now, I believe that axis rotation is one of the biggest factors into hooking a bowling ball, especially, and it's something that you can control.
Exactly.
It can change the way your bowling ball is reacting. You can have one bowling ball, and if you just change the way that you're manipulating the axis rotation, that bowling ball can do a lot of different things.
Yep, and you think about all the variables that go into, bowling a tournament. All the different types of things you can do, the movements, the bowling balls, the surfaces, all those things. But tricks, like the bowler who has the ability to manipulate their hand and get the ball to roll in a different way, physically controlling that is going to have a better chance at succeeding than just the guy that doesn't work on his tricks or doesn't know how to manipulate his roll in order to get that desired reaction in the back end. Yeah,
so when we're talking about axis rotation, we're talking about, and for those of you that have a kind of a basic knowledge already, how much we can get up the back of the ball, rotating the ball this way, and then if we want to increase our axis rotation, we're rotating our hand around the side of the ball. So I think a good thing to do here is, Brad, let's throw some shots where you get up the back, then you get around it, and then we'll talk about the differences we see, and then maybe when we can use those different axis rotations.
Perfect.
So let's start by going up the back here.
And I just want to say that I am naturally an up the back guy. Increasing axis rotation is hard for me, so this is good that I'm the one kind of demonstrating.
And it's important to note that because a lot of higher level bowlers are trying to get up the back of it a lot because it makes the ball motion smoother, it's easier to control, and that's something we'll talk about as soon as we kind of get going here. So this is going to be a shot where Brad is trying to get up the back. So Brad, let's see you get up the back as much as you can. Let's watch the ball reaction.
So for me, that's really up the back, but I got to really force my hand. The more up the back they are, the more kind of inside of the ball your wrist is. If your wrist gets on the outside, it is virtually impossible to get the ball to roll forward. That's what we're talking about, the axis rotation. So when you're getting up the back, you want to make sure your wrist and hand are on the inside part of the ball.
So you would say that when you're trying to go up the back, you're really trying to keep your elbow, your wrist on the inside of the ball when you're coming down, and then you're releasing the ball just
forward.
Straight forward. That's a term that we like to use. If you ever see someone, I'm trying to hit it forward, well, we're trying to get that rotation right up the back. We're not letting our hand come around it. We're keeping that elbow, that wrist on the inside of the ball on the way down, and we're releasing it forward.
And I would say I'm more up the back, but I would say I'm not extreme up the back and I'm not extreme till I reside right in the middle. And it is perfectly natural and normal for bowlers to feel a little uncomfortable when trying to get the ball to do one stream or another. So say you're bowling on a short pattern, a pattern which you want control. You want the ball to go forward. If I really needed the ball to get really forward, it would be a little uncomfortable for me to get my hand on the front. That's okay. If it's uncomfortable, it doesn't mean it's wrong, doesn't mean anything. I'm bowling tournaments at a high level, and there's times where I'm doing something that I don't necessarily like, but I know it's what I need to do.
Yeah, it's what the lane is demanding of you.
So it's not what's comfortable, it's just what you need to get done in order to get that controlled reaction.
So now you threw a shot that's up the back. We saw that the ball motion was really smooth. It didn't hook a lot down lane, and at times that's what we want. Now, let's throw a shot where you try to get your hand around the side of it more, and let's see the difference in ball reaction.
Okay.
So this one is what we're going to call higher axis rotation.
And I didn't get that one as much to the right, but you can just see like the way it just went through the pins right there. The first one was so forward that it didn't even get to the head pin, and then that one was almost sideways through the, it ended up working. It tripped the
Yeah.
fork pin, you know. But you could just, it's easy to tell the difference in the back end. One of the things about increasing axis rotation is it delays the response of the ball. It makes it kind of skid a little bit farther. And it's important to know that anytime the ball skids more, it is preserving energy for that back part of the lane.
Yeah.
So it's going to allow you to have a sharper angle. It's going to want to come off the pattern at a more left. At a more left.
At a more left, yeah, I guess.
Right, at an angle. The ball is preserving energy, so it can have that angle in the back.
Yeah, so essentially, let's talk about when we can kind of use these different axis rotations and what they're good for. When we come up the back of the ball, that ball is going to want, when we're talking about getting forward, when we're talking about kind of decreasing our axis rotation, that ball is going to want to read the lane faster. It's going to want to read the lane earlier, and it's going to use a lot of its hook potential in the early part of the lane, thus making it smoother down lane. So if the lanes are playing really hard, or the lanes are really, the oil is a really short pattern, we want that ball to hook early so we can control that hook. If you have a lot of axis rotation and the lanes are hooking and you need early hook, well, if you have a lot of axis rotation, the ball is going to hook so violently down lane, it's going to be impossible to control. That's why we're always trying to get up the back of the ball, because we're bowling on such hard patterns.
And it's important, like I see this in golf, where when I just want to hit long drives, you know, you just want to swing the heck out of it, you just want to look good, you just want to have perfect ball flight. But sometimes you just got to take a 4-iron and just knock it down right in the middle of the fairway just to be safe. And that's kind of the same analogy with bowling, is when they're hard, you just want to be safe. Right. A lot of times. You just want to get to the hole. It's okay to leave that weak 10 when the score is 210 or 220.
Hit the pocket.
You know? Hit the pocket. So getting up the back of the ball is a tool you can use that when you're having when you see the ball going too far down the lane, when you're having a hard time controlling it, if your ball reaction's giving you a bunch of different types of shapes, it's inconsistent, you want to get that ball to read earlier, thus trying to get your hand on the inside part of it and rolling it forward even more. That'll give you control, at least be able to get to the pocket.
And then if we go on the opposite side of the spectrum, so say the ball is hooking too early and the ball is rolling out and we don't have enough energy going into the pins, there is a time where we need to increase that axis rotation. A lot of times that's when we're playing left, because we're trying to get that ball to shape. So for right-handers, if I'm really trying to hook the ball, well, we need to increase that axis rotation. So when the ball is, you know, skidding way right, we need that ball to recover and come back with some energy. So that's an example of we can use a little bit higher axis rotation during that kind of time frame when the lanes are demanding it.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense too, right? If you're thinking about angles and your ball's rolling forward, which means that as it goes down the lanes through the pins, everything is going to be more in a forward direction. But if you have to move left and open up your angles, that forward motion and forward ball roll isn't going to work, because then it's just going to go straight into the right side of the rack. So when you move left and you open your angles, you have to almost increase your axis rotation.
Absolutely.
Just to allow it to have enough back end reaction.
So guys, use these tools when you're practicing on your own. Manipulate your hand positions, work with your axis rotation, because this is a huge tool in trying to control your hook, getting it to hook more, getting it to hook less, and using this tool is for sure going to help you increase your scores.
All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that video on axis rotation. It's uncomfortable. Learning tricks isn't easy. It's easy to be in that strict comfort zone of just doing the same thing over and over again. But if you can step outside that comfort zone and really allow yourself to try different things and to try different angles down the lane, you're going to see yourself become a more versatile bowler. You're going to be able to tackle a bunch of different conditions, and you're going to see yourselves at the top of your league and at the top of tournaments if you can figure out how to manipulate the ball in a couple different ways.